Bay Area?
But we're not originally from there. We just live there.
Okay, where are you originally from?
China.
Yeah, okay. And you're working here now, going to school, or
working?
And what do you do?
Software engineer.
That would have been my first guess. And yourself, young lady, are you also into software?
No, I'm doing accounting.
Accounting?
Yeah.
You're a very smart man to get a woman that does accounting. I wish I would have been smart.
I do all the accounting at my home, even though she's not accounting.
Now, so how long you've been living in the United States now?
For me, probably 7 years.
7 years?
Yeah.
Are you now citizens in the United States?
No, not yet.
Not yet? Are you applying? Or you?
No, I don't know yet.
I'm applying for the green card, but I don't know if I want to become a citizen, even if I got a green card.
Well, isn't China supposed to take us over anyway?
To take what?
He's joking.
No,
I'm not.
Okay.
No, I just didn't follow. What?
He's saying China's going to take over U.S. anyway.
Oh, no, I don't know.
Well, I mean, all nations have, but China, of course, is, a lot of people say, is the biggest threat to us right now. I mean, Russia hasn't got your economic power.
Yeah, I mean that's true. They do have a competition between these two countries.
Well, all countries have got competition. That's the deal.
That's true.
But almost all of the countries, especially the authoritarian ones, want to conquer the world. I mean, they don't consider that. Oh, we got enough. The people. I don't think. I mean, you don't want to go to war, do you?
No, of course not. Yeah,
of course not.
Yeah,
but
we do have a competition. I agree. I mean, why I'm taking photo with you because there's really rare people like you in Bay Area, and I'm not agree with those people, the liberals.
Oh, you don't like the liberals?
No.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, a lot of them, for sure. I used to live in San Francisco a long time ago.
I don't think the condition was that bad a long time ago.
Oh no, when I was young, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
but being young's fun. So it's back in the hippie days and everything.
Yeah.
And
I think hippies originally they're pretty good. They're really advanced people, but now it seems like can't help.
Well, we were fighting for different things. I mean, there was still free speech here. Was still at its birth. We were still trying to define what that is, and other freedoms, other things. And we had the civil rights movement, and then the war that we were against. Now people don't seem to be ever against war. So we're getting another war. So what? So you're going to go back to China eventually?
I don't know. Maybe that's one possibility.
Yeah. There are always pros and cons for living in different
countries.
Two countries. So it's hard to make the decision. Life is easier here, but the chance are much better in China. At least for me, right?
Yeah. Could I get away with this in China?
Sure, definitely.
Yeah.
I could criticize the government in China?
Oh, you mean you're not criticize Chinese government, you're criticize U.S. and
I could criticize the U.S. government there.
Yeah, but maybe Chinese, I don't know.
Not
maybe yes, maybe no. It's tricky.
So you've been here long enough, you've lived in China most of your life, right?
Yes.
And you like here better? Or what would you, if you had your druthers, would you stay here or would you go back to China?
Well, obviously here has its own advantage too. I would say living as a middle class in the U.S. is probably easier than being middle class in China. But for us, I would say the growing opportunity is more in China since we have been educating the Western and we have more resources in China, like networking opportunities and the language barriers. So different lifestyle.
And China is also very growing fast, and so the opportunities there are much better. If I don't want to live a boring life, I want to be really successful or something. China has a better chance.
Really?
But if I want, for me at least, I don't know if because I'm like from there, so I got I don't have barriers over there, but here I may have language barriers, like glass ceilings in companies.
Well, not only that, there's also the prejudices. I mean, Harvard University, was in the paper, there's a suit on in Harvard right now.
Yeah.
They're not accepting Asian.
Yeah, I saw that news. Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous.
You see today's news? Actually, Trump
was
revoking this policy from today's news. He's just revoking this policy from Obama's administration.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure I would like to revoke a lot of things that Obama did. But that, I found that, I mean, I talked to enough professors out here and students and all to know that the Asians, the Chinese especially, excel. I mean, they're the ones really. You got that highest IQ. You got a work ethic because you come from that in your country.
Exactly. I agree.
Yeah, it's a whole other philosophy. You work.
Exactly.
You don't work, you don't eat, kind of thing.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So. I mean, you get into a college and immediately go to the top.
Yeah.
And to have Harvard say you can't come in anymore because, you read some of the reasons why they didn't.
Because of diversity. I know, ridiculous, right? I know.
Well, you didn't fit in. You weren't humorous enough. You weren't humorous enough. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean. I couldn't believe that this alleged, enlightened liberal, supposedly the best of the best. It was written like a Ku Klux Klan, list of things we don't like. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I mean, I was outraged. I'm not Chinese.
I know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So that's why I'm really pissed off. I don't really like a Bay Area actually in everything. I work myself in Google. So it's a very liberal company. So
you work with Google?
Yes, but because of the compensation and everything, they pay much, right?
Do you have to? Well, there's a lot in Google right now about how they censor conservative blogs and posts and Twitter.
Yeah, I mean the whole atmosphere in the company is like.
Do you find that where you're working? Do you see that where they're blocking conservative thought?
I mean, personally, I don't know that part. They will not explicitly.
Do they know that you're lean conservative, or do you keep your mouth shut?
Me, I mean, I lean conservative, obviously, but I will not say that in my company.
You just kind
because,
of do your work, keep your head down.
Yeah. What can you do? I mean.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard the news. So, one guy in our company, in Google, last year he wrote a memo. It's only inside the company memo.
Yeah, and he got fired.
He got fired because he was discussing.
You'd like to leave anything in the bulletproof vest fund?
Yeah, it's discussing the.
There was a warning shot across the bow. Keep your mouth shut if you.
Yeah.
Where's free speech?
Well, here. I mean, that's what I meant. And that's, again, going back to when I was in San Francisco. I was there at the beginning of the free speech movement.
Yeah.
Where there were certain words you couldn't say in public.
Yeah.
Of course, there's some words you shouldn't say in public. But still, the restriction of anything, I think, by government is bad, which brings us back to the Chinese.
Yeah.
Yes, I guess when you're born into something that you don't know what really true freedom is until you experience it someplace else.
Yes.
But you go back because I assume you're locked into that culture. Your family's still there?
Yeah.
Yes. And also, I think the propaganda here in the U.S., when they're talking about Chinese, there's China, or I think it's not very true, actually.
Okay, give us set us straight. What are some of the things that Americans should know about?
Actually, I think we have more freedom in China, other than we cannot criticize government. This is the only thing.
That's a big thing, though. I mean, that's so big
but
thing.
I do feel that I don't have a lot of freedom.
I understand, you already want just don't mess with us. Boom, it's a big thing.
But mostly, if you're just living a normal life, you won't have, you won't have a chance to.
Well, what's a normal life? As long as you don't rub up against the authorities.
Yes. But one thing I think is, like when I was here, like especially in big cities like San Francisco or those areas, like I don't feel very safe.
Oh, I wouldn't either.
Yes, like even I want to go out during the night.
Sure.
I wouldn't do that. So I think this is like one of the freedom, right? So one of the free things I should able to do, but I can't.
Well, liberty comes with its sharp edges.
Yes.
It comes with some dangers.
Yeah. So that's what I mean.
I think what the dangers we're talking about right now is more the result of corrupt capitalism and the inability of the bureaucrats to do the right thing. I mean, what we have right now, all governments become corrupt over time. And that's why, I mean, and democratic governments throughout time become very successful, and when they become successful, the people start handing off the responsibility of, well, here, take my guns. I'm going to have a good time. You protect me. And that leads down a very bad path, because once you allocate your responsibility to someone else, it's not working. Recently, I'm probably ranking because I just recently talked to a gentleman who teaches, teaches Chinese American to Chinese.
Oh, okay.
And he spent 5 years over in China, and he teaches at a private school now, I think in North and South Carolina. And I had a good conversation trying to grasp, but there are families, clans in China that basically kind of control everything, aren't there?
Yes.
I mean, that's why as a, let's say a person born, a regular guy, you're not getting anywhere unless you're connected to these bloodlines and these clans. Am I correct?
Yes.
That's pretty much true,
Yes, that's...
See, that's the one thing we have here. If you build a better widget and market it properly, you can pretty much get, rise up to a place where
that's true.
So that
but it's like easier for you, but maybe not that easy for us.
Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, you could get your own business here and thrive.
Yeah, but like we don't understand the culture really well, as you know, right? Like even wanted to
what
do a
culture?
business,
it's just this.
like the people. What people need, right? So if you want to do a business, you need to know what people really want. But what they want here in America, maybe not what I think they want.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not to be. I'm just using a cliche here, but it's a cliche because it's true. Many of the convenience stores are owned by people of foreign origin here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think doing business, it's dealing with law too. I think for us, two countries have very different law systems. And here in the U.S. have a lot of complicated law. So, like, if I want to open a store, I don't know what kind of permits I should get. I don't know which department I should talk to. Like, if I want to open a business in China, it would be much easier because I would knew from either my parents or my relatives or my friends.
Indeed.
Right?
But there's evidence, but I can't disagree with you. The fact that they put all these licenses.
Exactly.
Everybody's got their hand out. Oh, we have to have the inspector jackass come in here and look at your router and then measure this. Make sure the doorways and this and that. Walking glass. Indeed. And that's something we're working on and should be working on, because one of the things about this country, again, when it gets to a point where it gets corrupted, we're corrupted. The good news is we've got computers.
Internet.
Well, open source has changed the world. There's information at our fingertips now that didn't exist 25 years ago, right? I mean, we had to go to the phone book to get, remember phone books? No, you don't remember phone books.
I got phone books when I was
But how much it's changed in that short period of time, or just a click and you can get information like this. You don't even have to read. You can watch a video and gain information. This, I think, is something that's changing the world all over, and even kind of like we're melding with China and everybody else, because this consciousness level, this idea of blending of cultures, the creed of freedom that we expound, individuality, and how it will meld with the centuries-old traditions of your country are going to be very interesting, I think.
I agree,
Yes.
I think
that's what I found interesting here, like the collisions or conflicts with these two cultures. Like they are so different. The cultures are so different.
I think we can learn and maybe meld, gains off of each other.
Yes. That's what I'm thinking. Yes. That's why we come to US. I think so that we can get the good things from both of the culture to make us better.
I think I think it's not only the scientific knowledge. I think it's more about perspective. If I keep living in China, I would only have one perspective.
Sure.
So living in both countries give me different perspectives. I think that's important because that builds critical thinking.
Oh, indeed. I always thought, if I was in charge of the education department, that before you could graduate from high school, you'd have to spend a summer in a third world country or traveling other places, and especially learn another language. You have to be bilingual and at least live somewhere else for 6 months to get an idea what other people, like you said. Exactly. Well, you guys are great. Thanks.
Thanks
for talking. It's nice to talk to you.
Really enjoy talking.
Yes. I really can't find anybody like you in Bay Area to just be open to talk like that.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope you do. Or maybe, start some conversation. See what happens. Who knows? What's going on? All right, here. Let me give you on your child. This isn't even good in China. This is a get-out-of-jail-free card from Hillary Clinton.
Okay. Thank you.
Just identify yourself as Hillary, and they'll let you off anywhere for anything.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
I appreciate your time.